Extra, extra, read all about it. Capricorn, this is all about you. This is your weekly oracle and tarot card reading for Born Without Boundaries. This is an energy reading. So it's Capricorn, sun, moon, rising, wherever Capricorn energy influences your life, even if you're dealing with a Capricorn. There's always an extended reading, which is a full tarot spread, which pulls out details and specifics and personalizes the energies we pick up here on YouTube. That link is in the description box below, and always includes your romance and love specific reading for the week. Please do click subscribe and ring that bell so that you know when I upload all your favorite content, because I create a new Capricorn specific video every single week. Yes, I do personal readings. That link is also in the description box below. Just email me at bornwithoutboundaries@gmail.com to get the ball rolling. And then last but not least, Monday through Thursday, which means yes, including today, I do a live tarot card reading, a general energies, general discussion reading on Instagram. I'd be so happy if you join me. Born_without_boundaries on Instagram. We're going to start off this reading getting your crowning energy, Capricorn. Okay. You're afraid of giving too much. You're afraid of sacrificing too much. There's some sort of protection that you protecting yourself, defense of being that sacrificial, but put on the chopping block. In a situation now where you want to, and I don't want to say afraid, but you're trying to set up boundaries, and the boundaries that you're setting are really protective. They're really defensive. They're really, really high and really thick and really heavy. You see the heavy strain in that poor little guy. This is Cancerian energy, but it's sort of the unevolved Cancerian energy, where the tendency is just to hide and defend and become defensive. And this is almost extreme philanthropic energy, where you'll give anything and everything for someone, for something. So this is trying to find a balance between two extremes, protecting yourself from the world or giving too much of it, giving too much to it. Or you're in a circumstance or situation right now where your emotions, maybe you're emotionally needy, maybe you're psychologically needy, maybe you need to grab onto or feeling that you might get too into a potential lover or even your spouse or even your family. You don't want to be needy to them. You don't want to be too into them, or you're just afraid that you're going to be that you're going to put yourself all in and get hurt or be looked at as needy, and you don't want to seem that way. So this is that sort of that clash, that conflict that is occupying your mind and your thoughts right now. And I say this to you because this is just the crowning energy, which means this is going to impact all the other energies we pick up on. The central energy will sort of suss through the real issues, and then the grounding energy will show you the way out. And then, of course, the extended reading will bring up those details that will be useful to you. But this is going to impact, this energy will be the one that impacts you for the energies that are floating around right now. The struggle between knowing when to give too much and when to pull back, of knowing that if you're too defensive or too protective, you block out your blessings, you block out potential, you block out change that's necessary, but also knowing that when you go all in, you leave yourself not only vulnerable, which is sort of an egotistical protection, right? But you also may literally be giving too much and thereby ruining the situation itself, because you're not expecting enough from the other side. You're not expecting enough from your employer. You're not expecting enough from your husband or wife. You're not expecting enough from your children. And knowing the impact that has on them is also something that you're concerned with. So there's all these concerns that have to do with finding that perfect balance between giving everything, giving way too much, giving your whole self, even if it means, like, think of turkey and think of what we do to turkeys on Thanksgiving. Their whole self, they just give their whole self. That's the philanthropic extreme, right? And then there's the guarded extreme of, I don't want to be vulnerable at all, but that's really heavy, and it puts you in a position of barely being able to breathe, almost living in an environment where you're suffocating yourself or you're blocking yourself from potential blessings. So right now you struggle with these two extremes, and the cards flipped out and they came out together. So it's definitely a message. Just want to make sure that it's definitely a message that has to be combined. What can I say to this energy? It isn't easy. And I think the expectation that there's an easy answer would be undermining your own self-value. So don't think that there's an easy answer. The struggle is real and the struggle is important, and having to work and mess up, fall down and get back up again is all part of the learning curve. You know, it's very, very difficult. One of the most very, very difficult things for us, not only for you as Capricorns, but for us as people, is to learn where to give and where to take. You know, what to expect from others and what to expect from ourselves. It's difficult, and the reason why it's so difficult is because from circumstance to circumstance, from situation to situation, it's situational. That's why, because it's situational, because it changes. It's not this constant. Maybe there's a algorithm, or not algorithm, a formula, but I don't have it. You know, it's very difficult to know how much pressure to apply in each situation. So give yourself some time and allow your intuition to help guide you. Intuition is, you know, sort of that culmination, that instantaneous response of your combined experiences and what they've taught you. But also your faith, you know, because sometimes it's a little bit beyond your intuition, and staying focused on those goals of staying focused on where you want to be, what you want to achieve, but not planning how to get there is usually a good place to start. Because when you stay focused on where you want to be, but don't plan how to get there, then you don't set yourself up for the failure of, well, I went against my plans. Even though I know plans are so important to you guys, just plan on achieving the goal. That allows more flexibility to happen and more improv to happen, which always needs to happen while you get there, without the disappointment or self-disappointment of thinking that I messed up and I keep doing things wrong because I can't keep to my plan. So you want to get rid of that disappointment in yourself. You really do. But you do want to get to your goal, and it isn't going to be easy. And I think lots of times we think if things aren't easy, or if we fall flat on our face, then clearly we're not worthy of having it. And that's just a bunch of BS. Giving up is the only thing that determines that we're not worthy of having it. I did want to turn over your central energy. Be loyal to what you love. This does have to do with home and heart space and fourth house issues. So your home and your family, maybe your actual structure of your home, the structure of your family, the things that you were raised in and matter the most to you. This is central to what you are going through right now. So clearly there's issues right now at home. Issues with setting boundaries, or setting no boundaries, or figuring how to give too much or too little. Now, domesticity could also in some situations, I don't think marriage is specifically fourth house, but clearly your marriage affects your family life and home life and the domestic life. So it could have something to do with that too, but this has to do with family and those things that you are unconditionally involved, engaged, and entangled with. Truth transcends illusion. So this isn't going to be easy. I'm just going to say that right now. It's not going to feel comfortable, because this means that illusion is what we get to feel comfortable in. And it has a wonderful place in our lives. It has that wonderful place in our lives because it's what we can draw creativity and inspiration from. But many of us use it far too much and far too often to define to hide us, protect us from the reality around us. This is that reality breaking through. So it can feel harsh, and it can feel hurtful, and it can feel like everything is against you. But that's not true, because when you feel all these uncomfortable things, you've actually been liberated. And that's what this card means. It's liberation from all of those things that really were getting in your way of having the life that you want, but there is that subtext that you were part of those things that were getting in your way of what you want. You were part of blocking all those things that maybe wanted to give you what you wanted or help you attain what you wanted, because of this illusion or decisions that you had made about your expectations in life. You were somehow blocking your own abundance. And so when that illusion is crumbled down, Capricorn, what's happening is a great deal of discomfort, but also liberation. This is more first house energy. This is Cancerian energy, but this is like the highest state of Cancerian energy. So being able to transition from one state to another. Usually this is between life and death. So what this tells me is there's a death of your old, not a real death, please don't freak out. A death of one's old self for the birth of one's true self. Next, trust in divine detours. Yeah, this isn't going to be easy for you. Why? Because this is wily, almost foxy, tricky. You may feel like the world has tricked you. You may feel like the world has really manipulated you, tricked you, done harm to you, just because it's pushing you in a completely different direction. What this energy is saying and guiding you toward is trust it. Do not feel like the universe is against you here. The one thing you must believe is that the universe is actually for you and is trying to take you. It's like, I know how much routine and pattern and predictability and planning is so important to that Capricornian energy. And when you are pushed in the opposite direction, you feel like you have just gotten in a car accident or like you've been slammed and injured. But it's almost like the universe, this is what's happening. The universe saw that what you really wanted out of life, what your heart, what your soul wanted out of life, your ego and your 3D persona was completely taking you in the wrong direction. And you've gotten far off course. So that hook, left or right turn, felt like you just got whiplash. It was spiritual whiplash, right? So it's going to take a lot of time for you to like maybe have faith again. Have faith now. Faith is a decision that you make. You can choose to have faith. Have faith that you've just been whiplashed for the reason of setting you back on the path of your true being, of your true person, of the things that you really wanted in life. Is like Spirit is going to try to get you there, but it's going to hurt depending on how strong that ego and that 3D drive was. And yours is, along with Aries, probably the most intense. So just know that the changes in your life could feel the most dramatic. Bring your ideas to life. So this is the birth of a new situation. This is really the spark of life that goes, the spark of light or energy or electricity that goes into that primordial soup of potential and springs forth those things that are new. So we're saying we're totally at the beginning here. That's what it's saying, but it's the new beginning. It's an actual beginning. All the ingredients are there and something new has started. It's changed. In other words, this is an alchemical change. Be here now. And this is air energy. This is Libra energy that is quite attractive to you, almost as in a hypothetical, but simultaneously one of the most difficult for you to attain, because you're always thinking about, the next step or what I have to build, planning ahead, seeing ahead. This is what's the beauty of the present moment right now. This is looking in front of you and seeing the beauty in these little things in front of you that you keep missing because you're always looking in another direction. And that's Libra energy, so it's going to help you balance out. This is also partnership energy, right? Because that's Libra rules the house of partnerships. So there could be a new spark in some kind of partnership that is in your life right now. But the only way it's going to work out is for you to just let it be what it is in the moment right now. Don't look too far ahead. Don't expect, and don't put up complicated obstacles. Just appreciate what you have now, and there's potential for growth. And then use your mind wisely. What does that mean? It doesn't mean strategize. It means sometimes you need to not strategize. Wisdom is not strategy and it's not intellect. Wisdom is experience and faith, as well as intellect and experience. So listen, at this point, this is saying the impossible will happen. The impossible is happening. What you may have thought you'd never, that breakthrough you thought would never happen, it's happening right now. You don't know it because I think in our dreams and our illusions, we always think, well, the wonderful things in my life happening are going to feel so good. That's not true. That's not true. You know, I think happiness is something you get to through accomplishment, not through pleasure. So even though your life might not be pleasurable right now, you are making huge strides in a more sincere direction. Clear out the clutter. So this is your grounding energy, and this is what's really going to save you and help you. This is Cancerian energy, sort of the 3D transformation of letting those old things go to be that new thing you have to be. Frog is not supposed to be a tadpole forever. It may not feel comfortable right away to have that extra gravity because you're not surrounded by water all the time. But there's so much more dexterity in his capabilities. Now he can go on land. Now he can... Hold on, I'm sorry. Sorry, thank you so much for that. A brief interruption, but this is but he can do so much more now. You know, he can be the true creature that he is, which is to be able to go with the flow and be on land. And I know Capricornian energy is stay to the dry land. Stick here, drill in deep, and build up. But this is learning how to go with the flow as well as navigate that solid. So learning how to do both and letting go of that past self or the past sense of self is a necessity here. It's a necessity. Sweet results await. And listen, lazy bees don't get the honey. This is saying, yes, this is your best mentality. This is Leo energy, but it's a best mentality for you because yes, you're going to be working very, very hard. Okay, and hard work is never something that you back down from. It is a comfort zone. And you don't have to be completely uncomfortable with all of this. And I think, in other words, this card is saying the one thing that you're going to be comfortable with is the work. It's the new work. It's working on this. It's the building of that new life. You'll be completely comfortable with that. So everything around you may seem like it's going crazy, but you will have the work. You will have the work. You will have work, whether it's school or a new job or a new business or entrepreneurship, whatever it is. The work itself will bring you that sense of just enough comfort to make you feel okay and to give you that day-to-day sense of accomplishment. And it's going to work. This is beautiful energy of something, at least somewhere inside of you knows that what you're building is the sweetest form of your own life. And a rebirth is assured. So this is the acceptance of, you see how he's upside down? I know this is a bat, but he looks like a cocoon, but he's not a cocoon anymore, right? He's spreading his wing. So this is coming out of the dark. This is coming out of your old sense of sleep and slumber. This is coming out of a long hibernation. This is spreading your wings and flying. This is seeing things from a different perspective, or first getting that alternate point of view before you are born, but you've absorbed that alternate point of view. And now this is a chance to spread your wings and fly, even though you might be a little bit hesitant at first. Hold on, let me share the full spread with you. Hold on. Okay, so starting at the top with this very conflicted crowning energy that's influencing everything else right now. So I know that this whole reading is about finding that struggle, finding that new balance, finding the balance between giving too much or nothing or nothing at all, blocking your blessings or letting yourself be used. Like, yes, everybody has to be a little bit vulnerable when they start in a new direction. And it's hard to understand that sometimes that's the best thing for you. But how do I make myself not too vulnerable? How do I get out of my own way? This conflict and this struggle is your entire reading. A lot of things are changing at home especially, and that can make you feel extremely destabilized. the dynamics of your family. It doesn't have to be as extreme as divorce or death. Just the dynamics of your family are changing. Things that you have grown accustomed to. There's a lot of changes in the home and heart space, maybe even to the structure of your home itself. But there's this sense of it feeling extremely uncomfortable. But the one thing that's going to feel comfortable is this wonderful sense of new work, of what you're working on, and really loving and keeping busy in what you're doing, trusting that the direction that you've been pushed toward is actually the direction that you needed to go. And the cards absolutely confirm that they are. There is a sense over here of a relationship, of some sort of relationship happening. There's also like maybe, I don't want to say hesitation, but a sense of holding back or being a little bit more objective when it comes to relationships right now. There's a sense of a spark of new life, of something happening, but if you expect too much of it or push it too hard, you know that it will break. So there's more of a sense of remain objective, remain light, and a wonderful change will occur if you do so. Let's go over to the tarot cards because I want to expand on this energy and just draw out some details. And of course, your romance reading is over there too. Capricorn, I'll see you guys over there.